Right, halfway through this batch of Metroids, now to just find the other half. Yeah. Not really a surprise that going through those plants with the lightning armor on would keep us from feeling much pain there. Also not a surprise that the wave beam doesn't make those flamethrowers any more destructible. Okay, didn't really intend to kill that one with a bomb, but so long as he's dead, I'm not gonna complain. Should I be worried that there's a convenient health generator here? A pair of flamethrowers. That feels like enough justification for the quick and easy energy replenishment nearby. Hell, I dare say that the number of flamethrowers here is absurd. But then, I've been saying the barriers in this game are absurd pretty much from the start, so the word absurd has kind of lost meaning by now. And again, I just drop into easily avoidable damage. The high jump. Well, that might make things a little easier against the latest form of Metroid. Sure, it's not going to change the fact that I keep trying to double jump over them, but still, it can't help to give us the ability to stay in the air longer, even if we aren't really in control of when we drop back down. Not where I thought there'd be another path, but at least I was right that this room had more to it. I'll take what I can get, especially when we're on a world full of things that want to kill us. But then most games that I enjoy end up throwing obscene numbers of hostiles at us anyway. I'm pretty sure the purple bat was stronger and more durable. Oddly hard for me to care considering how durable the regular bats are anyway. Especially since one well-timed counter is all we need to kill one of them regardless of their colors. Huh. We can't get down there from here? Okay, that's a bit strange, but it's not like it's the only way we can get into that hallway according to the map. Was somehow expecting the purple one to give us more health if we killed it with a counter. And of course, I'm getting more than a little worried about how we're going to find the next energy tank, considering how much damage even the regular enemies can deliver. I know, I should just have the lightning armor on constantly. Can you blame me for wanting to see how far we can get without it for as much as possible? Would help if we went up instead of back down, but at least I'm not just jumping through the fire. And I should probably be worried about sections of terrain in the background breaking. Yeah, definitely a sign that we've got some trouble in the near future. Now, if only I could tell how near that future is. You know, it's actually a bit annoying that the background implies areas like this should be relaxing, when everything we've been running into has been so dangerous. Right. Still no idea how to take down those barriers. Well, that's certainly a steady but manageable rate for thunder armor to drain. And apparently dropping into the water is enough to deal with that purple mist. Water also seems to guard us from the acid poop. I was kind of expecting it to just exist to slow us down, not have any actual benefits for us. It's amazing just how many things, both big and small, that they changed for this remake. Huh. For some reason I thought there'd be more of a barrier between us and the energy tank in there. Definitely appreciate that. Right, of course the enemies aren't in any way affected at all by the flamethrowers around here. Huh. Not even a sound effect for a breakable rock in the room? Ah, well, guess it's time to leave. Definitely way too used to just taking hits in this series. Sure, we can survive these hits, but I can't help feeling that such avoidable bits of damage really shouldn't be something I just completely shrug at. Well, there are definitely better ways for me to get up there. Most of which involve me using the spider ball. Well, it certainly took me long enough to get out of that hole, so we'll probably have to go back down once we figure out how to get that door down there open. Well, let's see if there's any teleport stations near where we need to go. Not the most convenient place for us, but it could have been worse. So we may as well go over there. Well, that certainly was an intimidating little transition scene. At least on the elevator, you don't have to wonder if Samus is even conscious, and if some interdimensional monster is gonna just snatch her between locations. I mean, dear God, man! Once we're done checking the lava room to the left, we'll start heading upwards. Okay, so that's a recurring enemy that can take repeated missiles. Sure, it's not as many hits as a boss would have taken, but still, somehow feels a bit strange. Really? That's all we get after that very small lava hallway? Right. Doesn't even look like there's anything this far on the side. Definitely gonna go for the upgrades I can see downwards before moving on, since that short hallway was oddly disappointing. Bloody hell, it would have helped if I remembered there were unbreakable crystals blocking one of the two upgrades down here. And apparently the high jump wasn't enough to get the other upgrade either. Right. It was quite a waste of time that didn't gain us anything. And apparently the lightning armor doesn't do anything when we go up to spikes like that. Still, got to admit, I impressed myself by wall jumping like that. Not that that bit of acrobatics actually gained us anything in here. Bloody hell, a little over halfway through the clip and we haven't made another major kill. Seems a little depressing, but at least us covering so much ground feels worth saving. Wish I could say this area felt particularly familiar as we go through it, but sadly enough, my memory in these kinds of games isn't even that good. It's funny how a little over 2 hours feels like barely anything happens in a role player, but in a game like this, that same length of time feels like you've been doing it for an eternity. Again, they really did a great job of making this game feel distinct from AM2R, despite the fact that our overall goal is the same. Can't really say with any surety if the terrain is all that similar between the two games, but at the very least I can safely say that the obstacles have certainly been a lot more interesting to deal with here. You mean to tell me that thing didn't notice we were shooting it in the ass? That's just pathetic. Well, at least it's not another of the newer forms. Still not entirely confident in our ability to kill those with any consistency just yet. Did that Metroid just try to run away from us? I'm sorry, I'm a bit more used to enemies deciding to act like the only two options are victory or death, not escape. Sure, he didn't really get all that far away from us, but still, there are two things I see very infrequently in games: surrendering and retreating. And considering just how many war-related games I tend to do, that's rather surprising. You'd think I'd be pretty used to seeing enemies fleeing from the player, especially when we do enough to be considered a badass. Hell, even in Doom, a series where you are explicitly supposed to be the one thing the enemy fears, they typically fight until you or they are dead. It's just kind of funny how much I appreciate moments of seeing enemies trying to escape, even if it technically makes things last a little longer than they strictly need to. I wonder if I'd have the same opinion if retreats and surrenders were more common in single-player video games. Well, as nice it is that we found another teleport station, I'd have preferred to have found whatever upgrade was in this tunnel. Oh, what fresh kind of barrier is this? It looks like an egg, and apparently the only thing that affects it is the wave beam right now. Unfortunately, just because we can get it to flash doesn't mean we can destroy it. Ah, well, at least it looks like we can keep going to the right. There should be more to find that way. Definitely going to need the ice beam to get to the other side of this lava lake. And I promptly drop into the lava despite... Ugh. Well, at least it looks like we'll be taking down 2 Metroids in this clip. Our progress isn't as fast as I may want it to be, but at least we're making steady progress. Definitely need to jump more when they set off a platform engulfing bomb. Right, 6 down, 2 more to go before we can unlock the next major area. Wait, why is it the Metroid proximity sensor is still going off if we just killed the bastard in this room? We are in absolutely no shape to take on another Metroid anytime soon. I know we wouldn't keep having that kind of health problem if I just used the damn lightning armor like I'm supposed to. Still, considering how many Metroids we've killed so far without using it during one of those fights, I'd say if anything, it's making us more sharp for what's going to come later on in the game. Well, at least we didn't have to use the ice beam to make our way over here. Always nice when they provide an easier route back than forward, even if it makes part of me grumble that getting over there in the first place was a bit of a pain. May as well use the teleport station while we're here. Again, there's something about the short little animation when we use these things that's a little unsettling. And of course, immediately after teleporting, Samus ends up with her butt set on fire. Sorry about that. Though I'm even more sorry to say that I don't remember why we're going to this particular place anyway. Definitely appreciate the ability to shoot enemies we can't see yet, though it would probably be even more awesome if there was some way to detect those minor enemies before we saw them. As a side note, just how the hell did I remember to blow that specific bit of ground up but forget so many other things? Okay, now that we're in this corner, now what? Yeah, there's no other way into that room there other than to just break open the door, and we don't have the proverbial key for that yet. Well, this little trek was a waste of time. Still, I suppose it was worth a shot. Time to get out of this corner again and figure out where to try exploring next. And great. Now I've got the mental image of Samus trying to decide if she's going to be Lara Croft or a gender-bent Indiana Jones for Halloween in a given year. Then she just gives in and puts on some casual clothes to claim that she's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Bit of a mental image I have of her, despite never seeing anything to support it in Nintendo's library of games. Where there's work to be done, she's all business and efficient. But when things are more casual, she's essentially a lazy cat. The closest thing to support for that particular fan canon I can think of is just the fact that she doesn't get as many games as Mario or The Legend of Zelda cast. But then, the Star Fox series doesn't get all that many games either, and I just imagine them as just perpetually poor. Just some random thoughts as we try to climb our way out of this hole again. Right, of course that block reformed the moment we got up here. It would have been kind of embarrassing if that crappy gnat just knocked us down just before the blocks reformed. Yeah. Definitely gonna save soon, if only for the healing. We are just taking a near constant pounding here. Thankfully, we aren't too far from a save point. Okay, seems these flamethrowers have some kind of proximity detector. As a side note, I can't help chuckling that we're going back to the same save point we started at the beginning of the clip from. Sure, we've made progress, but that sort of thing doesn't really scream you are moving forward at a good pace. Still, I think it's safe to assume that we're going to be taking down both of the other remaining Metroids in the next clip.